And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing Systems. You know Daniel from watching our show each fall. He's just as detail-oriented when it comes to roofing as he is when it comes to facts and figures on our show. Defend your home and increase your home's value by visiting Daniel's website, danielhood.net. Inspections to fit your schedule. That means weekends. That means nights if you need them. Tons of happy customers to vouch for his work. Daniel Hood Roofing Systems. Give Daniel a call. All right. I want to show you here, Tennessee spending a lot more money this year on its coaching staff. We start at the top. Jeremy Pruitt, $3.8 million is his deal for 6 years. Tyson Helton, really well paid. If this were last year, he would be the second highest paid offensive coordinator in the country for someone who has never called offensive plays. $1.2 million he'll be making at Tennessee. He got a 3-year deal, and to me, that's the interesting thing. Tennessee's never done a 3-year deal for assistants before. They've given them to Helton, Rumpf, Friend, Scherer, and strength and conditioning coach Craig Fitzgerald, who you see there making $625,000. That would make him the number 2 highest paid strength and conditioning coach in the country last year. Overall, you look at all the numbers there. In 2017, Tennessee had 9 assistants and strength and conditioning coach paying them $4.9 million. You've added $1.5 million by adding another coach here. You spread that out. So Tennessee spending more money and giving longer contracts than they have before, something that Philip Fulmer hinted at, that they're going to be playing more on an even field with some of the big boys, and they're doing that. Okay, speaking of Ty Helton, who was there, let's go to the quote he had talking about his offense. Now, this is kind of a generic deal, but let's run through this. You will see an offense that is an exciting offense, that is going to pound it out, run the ball, and be a big play offense. We have to run to win. What does that mean? When it's time to run, we will run it and stick it in there, and we're going to be good at it. On top of running, you have to be an explosive team. You have to throw that sucker down there and make everyone stand up and take a breath, take a deep breath. Whether we catch it or not, we have to throw it down there. Okay. We're going to go left. We're going to go right. We're going to do it all. That sounds good. I mean, it sounds pretty good. To me, sounds like the 1998 offense. Run was the first thing. The first thing was running. And then you had T. Martin, who wasn't exactly the most accurate passer, but he would hit the deep ball to Cedric Wilson or Peerless Price. He had the one incredibly accurate game that everyone always emails me when I say he wasn't that accurate. But to me, that sounds like the 98 offense. Here's the thing. It could also sound like some of the crummy offenses you've had. It's good on paper. I think it's what everyone wants to hear. Ooh, we're going to run it, and we're going to throw deep. How much do you take from that, though?
It's kind of generic.
Anything?
Yeah, it's kind of generic, really, a description of a lot of offenses out there, so I don't take a whole lot from it. It does sound like every pro-style offense, basically, that you hear about, and I think the most important thing to take away from that is what Jeremy Pruitt already had made it clear they want to do, run the ball, and then he made it clear the offensive line is going to have to be able to push the pile, and when he says run to win, he means the offensive line's got to be able to, when everyone knows they're going to run it, still be able to run it, and that's where Tennessee struggled in recent years. If they can do that, that's a good start.
Yeah, there are very few offensive coaches that have different plans, I would say, than that. Running and throwing and hitting big plays.
Getting guys in space.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah, we rarely hear the coach say, we want to get to some of our slower guys in a crowded area and see what he can do with it. But a lot of it's going to come back to personnel. What can they get out of the quarterback position? Is that one of the guys that's on campus, or is that somebody still to be determined? Those are things, the personnel, I think, long-term is what this offensive coaching staff is trying to figure out. And
Helton was talking about J.T. Shrout, one of the quarterbacks they signed from California, or the quarterback they signed this period, who's going to be added in with Mel McBride and Jarrett Garantano. But in talking about him, he kind of gave a view of what he wants in the quarterbacks, and that is he has to be a thrower first. We want throwers first, guys who can make the throws. Again, all right, you're not after a dual threat guy. You'll take one, I guess, if he's a thrower, if he knows how to throw the ball. But that to me, that's a bigger switch than what you're talking about, because I think there are times Butch Jones probably should have looked at more of the dual threat. I mean, with some of the guys he had out there last year, it didn't work out. But it looks like that's going to be your biggest switch, is now you're looking for pro-style quarterbacks versus the scrambler, which I don't think anybody's wowed by that. But when you come out and say we're looking for thrower first, it kind of draws the line in the sand that, yes, this is what we're doing. Your thoughts on the offense?
Well, most quarterbacks are throw first. To me, even Josh Dobbs was a throw first. Yeah, he could run and ran a lot, but look at his passing. I mean, he was one of the top pass efficiency guys in the SEC. So
Especially as a senior.
I don't see this as anything particularly dramatic.
Well, I mean, when I see that quote, John, I kind of think it's like a rah-rah type quote, because it better have a magic wand or something that comes with it if all of a sudden you're going to be a running offense. How long has it been at Tennessee that 3rd and 1 has been a passing down? I mean, you're going to have to change the culture. We're already talking about being thin and in depth on the offensive line. How are you going to? I like a coach that says, hey, we're going to be balanced. Somebody, tries to stop the run, we're going to be able to throw it.
Well, and that's kind of what he's saying there, I guess, is we're going to run it and throw deep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think you could talk to offensive coordinators across the country, and they'll all give you we're going to be dynamic. You got to be able to run the ball. You
But
got
it's
to
a
be able to throw the ball.
pretty good salary if you haven't actually called a play yet.
You're going to have to earn it. We'll see. All right. Mark Pankrat's going to give us a scouting report on Tennessee's week ahead. We'll talk about NCAA seeding. We've still got more on signing day. We got a thing coming up that I'll tell you about where you can help the Sports Source a little bit. And we got some other quotes from Jeremy Pruitt that I personally loved. We'll discuss those as well. Come on back on the Sports Source.